Hey everyone, Miss Wilkins here. We're going to talk about tetrachords in this video. Okay, so this is a little bit more advanced concept that I usually start out with my my upper level orchestras, or so if you're in my symphonics class, this would be the first video, or one of the first. I think we're going to do intervals as well. One of the early videos, they were going to talk about the building blocks of scales and our fundamental cornerstones in music. So first off, I want to just talk about tetra. The word means four. Okay, so if you have any Latin, you're gonna know that that means four. So tetrachords. So we're gonna think about groups of four notes, and we're gonna talk about the relationship of those four notes to each other. But let's just sort of put it into context here. If you're a violin violist, that works really great because we have four fingers, we usually have four notes, and so we upper strings usually already think in tetrachords. But for cellists and bassists, life for you is a little bit different. Cellists, you think in thirds, right? Closed position, open hand position. And bassists, you really think in seconds, right? Whole step and half step. So for those folks, for our lower string folks, you're going to have to come over to the other side and think in groups of four notes, okay? So first off, let's take a look at how the piano is constructed. Now, if you look over here, you can see that I have attempted to draw a piano. And if you're my student, you know that Miss Wilkins is a terrible artist, but I think that came out pretty good. So let's just dive into a little bit of keyboard setup, linguistics, and language. If you look at a keyboard, a piano, you're going to see that there are white and black keys. Okay, you're going to orient yourself by first looking at the white keys and noticing the groups of the black keys. What you want to look for is a group of 2 black keys and a group of 3 black keys. Now, if there are 2 white keys together, in other words, there's no black key in the middle, that point, when there's a white key next to a white key, that is our half step on the piano. Okay, so that's how you know there's nothing in the middle. That happens in 2 different places naturally. Okay, so if we look at the 2 black keys grouping and go to the white key just to the left of that, that is going to be C. Okay, so that got a little erased. So that is C. If I count up from that, all my white keys, C, D, E, E to F has that white key happening. That's going to be a half step. We keep going. G, A, B to C is also going to be the other half step. Okay? So just to keep in mind that if I just play the white keys on the piano, the notes E to F and B to C naturally occur a half step. It's just the way it works out. Okay? Now there are lots of these groupings on a piano. This is just one little snapshot. A keyboard or piano usually has, a big piano, a regular piano has 8 octaves. So you're going to have this pattern 8 times. And this, if you look in the middle, you find the middlemost grouping of 2 black notes. That's going to be what they call middle C. So that C is really how we orient ourselves on the piano. So just a little bit of keyboard background, just to put that in context about half steps and whole steps, and whole steps. Because on string instruments, we have to create whole steps and half steps, okay? So we do that with our fingers, but you can see it on the keyboard. Now, if I was to go over here and create a tetrachord that pretty much lines up with these letters, you're going to see that between C and D is a whole step, between D and E is another whole step, and then I have my half step, okay? I can also repeat this pattern over here. G to A to B. Those are 2 separate tetrachords. Now, if I put them together and connect them I'm going to connect them with a whole step. And this is the pattern of a major scale. So a major scale has 2 tetrachords that are made up of whole, whole, half. We connect it with a whole, and then another tetrachord, whole, whole, half. Now, let's just break this down and look at tetrachords one at a time. So what if I wanted to make a tetrachord on G? Well, if I start on G, I have a whole step between G to A whole step between A to B, and a half step between B and C. Perfect, that works out. And you can see that naturally occurs here with my white keys, okay? Say I want to do that on C. Let's do that over here. Hopefully you can see. C to D, we've got whole step. D to E, another whole step. E to F is that half step. Okay. So again, I can do a tetrachord on any note. But if I want to create an entire scale, I have to link them just like it occurs on the piano. So let's do G. And I'm going to follow this pattern that the keyboard does. G to A, that's a whole step. A to B, that's a whole step. B to C, that's a half step. Okay. C to D, that's my connecting whole step. And I'm going to start my tetrachord here on D. D to E, that's a whole step. E, now here's where we have to make an adjustment because E to F is normally a half step. So I have to change that and make that F sharp to get a whole step. Okay, E to F sharp, and then F sharp to G is going to be my half step. So taking these two pieces, we have tetrachords, whole, whole, and half. If I want to connect them, I put a whole step in the middle, and then I can make a major scale. Okay, so let's just go over this again. A scale or a tetrachord, whole, whole, half. Whole, whole, half. Okay, and if I want to connect them in my scale, I have whole, whole, half, connected by a whole, and another whole, whole, half step. All right, folks, head on over to this worksheet and take a look at tetrachords for my students. This is how we're going to start building our major scales and building blocks of music. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.